Networking can be like pasta. It's really hard at first and you can't do anything with it. You actually have to cook it for the prescribed amount of time in order to make it valuable. But once you cook it to perfection and you add sauce, it's incredible. Well, the same thing is true with building a network. So often people think, well, Thom, I don't know anybody. Well, that's just where you're starting from. 2, 3, 5 years from now, you could be the best connected person in your industry. But in order to do it, you're going to have to get that water to boil and you're going to have to put the pasta in and you're going to have to cook it for the right amount of time. Now, the great thing about networking is you really can't overcook relationships because if both parties are involved and want that friendship to be created and cultivated, all you're going to do is get closer. It never gets soggy and mushy if you're both committed. So here's the thing to remember is networking is not magic. Whether you're doing it at in-person networking events, joining your trade association, getting involved, or whether you're participating in online networking forums and using social media. And the real answer to be successful is you need to do both. But either way, you have to remember that it takes time to cultivate these relationships. I was talking to someone the other day who was upset because he felt like his competitor had a really good reputation online. When you looked at their LinkedIn and their Instagram and all of their social media, they had this giant following and they were really well known. And I pointed out that they started building that reputation online on these digital tools 5 years ago. This person, while they had accounts on all the social media, had never really done anything. And they said, well, I don't know where to start. So my comment was, you have to provide value to people. And there's 2 ways you can do that using digital social media networking. And that is, number 1, the content you put out can't be, hey, everybody, buy my stuff. Look at me. Here I am walking down the fancy street I live on, or here I am driving my fancy car. Oh my gosh, look at the hotels I'm staying in. While people see big celebrities doing that and they think, oh, if I do that, I'm going to develop that reputation. What really happens is people start going blah about the stuff that you're doing. Now, you want to have credibility. You want to show your levels of success. But if every post is, hey, look at how cool I am, you're going to repel people. Then here's the other thing is that you want to make sure the content that you're putting out, or at least most of it, really provides value to people. Are you linking them to articles? Are you writing articles that are showing things that they can do with actual action steps so that they can achieve more? And are you just being a good part of that community in the posts that you're making? But the second thing to remember about digital networking is what you have to do is comment on other people's things. So often people will like something, but liking it just says, hey, I see you posted. But when you leave a comment, or better yet, you share what they posted with your audience, what that does is it lets the person who made the post know that you appreciate what they posted and you're adding to the conversation. Let's face it, everyone who posts on LinkedIn or any social media tool, they want people to see it and they want to know that it mattered. So when you leave a comment, you get noticed. So with a video, let's just look at YouTube. I don't get very many viewers and I don't get very many comments. However, people who comment or share my videos, all of a sudden they're on my radar. If they do it 2 or 3 times and then they reach out to me, I'm going to take their call. I'm going to spend time getting to know them. It's human nature. If somebody's saying, hey, Becky is putting out great content, I really like what she has to say, and I'm going to add to this conversation in a positive way, Becky eventually is going to notice who that person is because we can't help it. If people are complimenting us, adding to the conversation, sharing our content, we have to stop and notice them. So while you want to use your social media tools to put out information about yourself, to share your brilliance, you also want to make sure that you're leaving comments and sharing other people's content. So I talked to a woman one time who positioned herself as an influencer. I'm not even sure what that means if you're not famous, but she was an influencer. And I talked to her about this idea of promoting other people's stuff. And she said, I do that if they have more followers than me. And I go, well, what about somebody who doesn't have more followers? And she goes, oh, that's not the way being an influencer works because people who are less than you can't help you. This was literally her take on social media. All she wanted to do was highlight the people who were bigger, hoping to get noticed by them. But she didn't want to actually help anybody else on their journey. If you would like to really thrive and become that perfectly cooked bowl of pasta, you need to make sure that you're not doing it just for yourself. You absolutely need to look for ways that you can promote and help other people along the way. And a simple way is just start leaving comments and sharing people's information. Go to their LinkedIn. If you would like to do business with somebody and they're a regular poster on LinkedIn or on other social media, and start off. The first time, maybe give a like. The second time, give a little comment. And then a few weeks later, leave a more detailed comment. And then when they post something really great, share it with your audience. I promise you, by about the fifth or sixth time that you like, comment, and share other people's things, when it comes time for you to reach out to them, they'll know who you are because we pay attention to the people who are leaving comments. So I wanted to talk about this idea of networking being difficult and taking time. So same thing is true when we're in-person things. I'm a really active member of my trade association. And I talk to people who go to one event and they said, oh, I attended a conference 3 years ago and I didn't make any contacts. I didn't get any business from it. Well, you can't just show up at your trade association one time and expect that everybody is going to part the seas and bow down at your feet. What you need to do if you want to get recognized in your industry, if you want to build a reputation, end up with industry friends who will refer you business, you've got to attend year after year. You've got to go to some of those smaller events that aren't as fancy and shiny, and you've got to help other people in your industry. Showing up once does you no good because meeting someone once doesn't make them part of your network. Meeting someone once makes them someone you have met once. And there's a huge difference between someone you've met once and someone you've established that long-term and mutually beneficial relationships with. So much like if I gave you a box of dried pasta and said, here, eat this, you would crunch on it and spit it out. It might break a tooth. The whole concept would not be useful. However, if you took the time to boil the water, put the pasta in, seasoned it, add sauce, you could sit down and be nourished for a long time. That's how you have to look at your networking efforts. They take time, whether it's online or in person, and you're going to have to be committed. I one time told somebody it could take 5 years to build the type of network that I'm talking about. And the person looked at me and said, Tom, in 5 years, I'll be 55 years old. And I said, well, I hope so, because the alternative is death. Now, you could start building your network at 50 and by 55, start reaping those rewards, or you could wait till you're 55 and then complain that nobody knows who you are and nobody's there to help you and you don't have any network and people are jerks. It really comes down to the choices you make and the actions that you take. So I make a lot of videos about networking, and I've had a couple of people go, why do you even do this? Why do we care? Because I think that your network is your secret weapon to success at any age, whether you're 20 or you're 60 or you're 80. Heck, if you're 90 and you're still active trying to do business, then you need to have connections of people of all generations, because that's the thing. All opportunities in our lives come from people. So if you like this video, do me a favor, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked about it. If you think that I'm just rambling, put that in the comments. That's totally fine as well. Now, I make these videos because I want to inspire somebody. I know out there is someone who's going to watch this who says, okay, I'm going to change my idea of how I look at people and how I relate to people in my industry, and I'm going to see what happens. And over 20 years now of being a really avid believer that all opportunities come from people and that anyone can grow their network, I'll tell you what I've learned. The people who really get serious about it and make it a lifestyle are the ones who find success. It almost always works because networking, it's not a verb. You don't get to go networking. It's a lifestyle choice. Choose people, help people, be part of the community, celebrate the wins that other people make. And when someone else does something good, even if they're a competitor, stand up and applaud. Don't sit there and go, huh, I wish that was me. If you wish it was you, reverse engineer what that person did to have that success, and then go do those things. My name's Thom Singer. I speak to audiences about business relationships, trust, and accountability. And I love sharing this message because I think it makes a huge difference. Please look me up on all the social medias. I would love to develop a relationship with you.